You get your kicks flying too close to stars? Because you're putting out some interesting radiation. Sounds like you're just the type of pilot the Vanguard's looking for.
You might be Freestar Ranger material.
Give it your all out there. Supra et Ultra.
Don't mess with me!
You think you're just gonna walk up here and get us to surrender?
You killed a Terramorph. Holy shit.
So tell me, stranger, how do I know you're gonna deal straight with us?
Make us look good out there, recruit.
Welcome back, everybody, to a Starfield Report podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Smyson, and with me, as always, is Jax. How you doing, Jax?
Hello, everyone. Happy Memorial Day. I hope all of my service members are out there thinking about their loved ones that have sacrificed for us to have our freedoms.
Yeah, I was a lot of military in my family, although I didn't lose anybody in combat in my family history. But I've had almost every war for the past since World War II. I've had family members be a part of them all.
Yep,
So,
I've got. My granddad was in World War II. My dad was called up 3 different times for the Vietnam War, and every time my dad was an Air Force drill sergeant, and he had orders to go to Vietnam 3 different times. And every time within weeks of him getting sent, he got new orders that said, no, wait, we want you over here training some guys instead. Or we want you over here watching over some stuff instead. But he got sent, he got orders to go to Vietnam 3 different times, and they never actually sent him. And that's something he talks about in a very regretful way. It's kind of odd, a little awkward to talk with him about it because he regrets not having the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, it's like the guilt. Like he knows
Serve in that way.
Yes, he probably knew plenty of people
very-
that went over there and didn't come back. Right? Yeah.
Very much so. So it's a very guilt thing that he has, like you said, that he did not have to sacrifice like a lot of the people that he knew
Yeah.
had to sacrifice. But there was a lot of sacrifice in our
Yeah.
for him in his service. So he gave a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a little emotional there. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Yeah, this is can be a pretty heavy holiday for some people. I mean, because I've never lost anybody in war. Like I always feel a lot more lighthearted on Memorial Day. But I'll never forget one time I went to the funeral not funeral, the veteran cemetery. One of my friends, her dad, she's older than me, and her dad passed away, of old age, about 15 years back. And so I went out there to send her a picture of his plaque, his gravestone. And but there was some people that were there. It was their first time going to the cemetery on Memorial Day since their son or relative had died in GWAT. So the global war on global war on terror. Yeah,
that's right. Okay, it took me a second to put the acronym together.
Yeah, that's what your modern day guys are going to call it. From Afghanistan and Iraq, that theater of the war. And so,
yeah. And I'd heard the term when you said it. I was like, I recognize what he's saying.
Yeah.
But now I need to pull up out of the files what is exactly he is talking about.
Yep, the old the old slow motion hard drives in your brain spinning.
Right. Yeah.
You're the
Mine are
kneekers.
Yeah. They're 7.5-inch floppies at this point.
Yeah, mine are at least the 3.5-inch floppies that people thought were hard drives, but they were technically floppies because it was a floppy disk inside the casing.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we've been having a good time with Starfield doing the Terran Armada quest line. We're going to continue that with Into the Void. Now, I think I definitely came across an issue because, and I don't know if maybe these websites are starting to use AI. I think they're using AI to write the walkthrough because in
Okay.
everything you and I came across, it showed that dealing with that first incursion after you deal with the cruise ship, that the first incursion is the next mission. It's not the case when you actually are in game and look at the checklist because
Yeah.
the Into the Void quest starts with, say, go to the Algorob system, which means you've already done the incursion where you dealt with the ship. So I went back and looked at it in my completed quest log, and it said something about dealing with the Terran. What do they call that ship? There's a name for that style of ship, and it says
Is it the
deal with.
Enforcer?
Yes, yeah. So that's the end. So that is the proper end of the quest. So, so real quick, what we'll have to do is we'll have to wrap up that technically luxury lost quest line, which ends with dealing with that enforcer. So we'll wrap that up, and then we'll officially get into the void stuff here. So to rewind, after you've dealt with the luxury lost incident where you've dealt us down your crew, you met with the one female pilot on the rescue party, you board your ship, and you're supposed to go to anchor point at this point.
Yeah.
But the first interdiction happens where you have to go find this enforcer ship, board it, and shut it down. Now, and this might be, I think, the only time they do a very strict walkthrough of it. Go ahead.
So what you're saying is last week when we looked at the check marks on Xbox, I had a screen capture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of everything that was involved in Luxury Lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now we're talking about, I have a screen capture. Matter of fact, it's over in the chat of what Into the Void is. Okay.
Okay.
Somewhere between those two, we've missed a beat, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So at the bottom there, if you were to click on Lost Luxury, you would have seen how it actually, like, the very topmost one, which was the most recent one completed, that one would have said deal with the Terran
Right.
our enforcer.
Okay. All right. So we got to go there. And that's kind of that's kind of a thing because you get there and there's usually a couple of ships that are going to accompany it. So you got to take.
I actually had none.
No?
Yeah, there were nothing. There was, because in the opening credits, the new opening credits for our show, the final shot is me docked to the first one on my my combat medic, and I'm in the cockpit on his face, and I zoom out and fly down as the camera's looking up at the ship. So because those things are pretty massive.
Yeah, they are big.
But no, he's there. I flew there. There was nothing there. I docked. So
yeah, I'm thinking that I had two Terran ships. So I fly in, super cruise in, and there's two ships that want to protect the enforcer ship.
Okay.
So then at that point, you take those two out, or you don't. In your case, you dock, and then you've got to go through this whole other ship, right? So I mean, that's another 15 minutes of gameplay, right?
If not more, depending on how fast you're going. I mean, for loot goblins like ourselves, we're checking every nook and cranny, so it can take 30 to 45 minutes to get through this.
Oh yeah.
And in this one, they hold your hand. That's kind of a bad way to put it. They make a point to teach you in this first one kind of how to get through it. So kind of the long way, which is there's one room you go into to destroy the thing, but there's another room, and this by room I mean when you go to the elevator, there's different floors you can go to. So one of them is where you can overload the system and destroy it. Another room, though, is where if you bum rush the computer, there's always an ensign, a human, inside the control room. Destroy him, and you get access to. You'll get some kind of a data chip or key card or something on him that allows you to
Yeah, it's a
interact
control
with.
level 10.
Mhm. And then you can deactivate the robots, and it does it on the rest of the ship. So you can bum rush, fly past. In this case, it was in 0G, so I've never been on one on the ground yet. But you can go past him or past the few of the robots shooting at you, and then kill him, hit the switch, and you're good. And the part of the reason you might want to do that, and I kind of found out the hard way when I was going after the first black box that you have to go for, is if you go straight to the room where the black box is, that's the room where you can shut that's the room where you destroy the enforcer ship. But it doesn't at this point now tell you you can go to the other room to disable all the Terrans. And there's one of the boss. There's a boss Terran robot. In the
Done that.
What's that?
I didn't know that there was a way to go shut them all down.
Oh, you didn't do that the very first time?
It just went through guns ablazing,
Yeah.
shooting them all down,
Yeah.
collecting. I did capture after Luxury Lost. I found a legendary ballistic MGP. I think is that what it's called? The
Mhm.
new rifle.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I found a legendary, and then I took it back to my home base, and I upgraded it to what's above superior. The new level above superior is what?
I haven't been paying attention to that stuff because
So I
dark. Yeah.
upgraded it to the top level, top tier, and then I gave it um its fourth legendary effect, which I always pick sabotage since we're dealing with a bunch of robots, and that gives
Yeah.
you a chance to one shot kill robots, and
Okay.
they explode on when you shoot them.
Yeah.
When the effect
Nice.
happens, it kills them, and then they explode on death. So I've got my specific robot killer rifle, but
Yeah.
it's slow.
I haven't come across that effect yet. I have a shotgun that's got the disassembler, which is just 20% more to robots.
Mhm.
Got the little shotty, so I semi-automatic. So I just get up in their face and just drop them.
Right.
But I'm surprised you didn't know how to shut all the robots down, because after I went through it, and then I went through the next enforcer where all it did was tell me to go for the main objective. I realized that the first time I went through it was basically a tutorial on how you can navigate this. I mean, you don't have to go shut them down. I mean, but when I went in later on, when I went into the main room where there was the boss guy, and he had one of his powers was healing robots around him. Another power was some kind of like, it was almost like a Starfield power. Like he would make this little wave with his hand, and he would like
Yeah.
shake you around, and he would stop you mid flight as you're floating across. It would interrupt you, and then it was. I went through a lot of health packs on that fight. I mean, that we'll get to that later though, but yeah. So, anyways, it's all of these the incursion things are all fairly repetitive. They're kind of like the dragons of Skyrim, right? Or the Oblivion gates in Oblivion.
Right.
They're random, but they pop up, and it's a fairly formulaic process. Definitely more comparable to the Oblivion gates. You got to run to the top of the tower,
Yeah,
get the
Oblivion
stone.
Gates, there you go. I was looking at my star map last night when I was playing, and I started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got like 7 incursions around the system.
In one
And I'm
system.
like, man,
Okay.
around the galaxy,
Okay.
the star map. There's like 7 of them now, and I'm like, am I supposed to just keep hopping from spot to spot to spot? I mean, it's kind of
Oh, is that
very
where it shows the
over.
little symbol with the
The
gold
triple triangle.
thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's where there's an incursion going on. And so you're supposed to jump over there and take them out. Okay. If there's one or two occasionally, that's good.
Yeah.
But, I'd like to go back to my home base and upgrade my
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like last night, I spent a lot of time playing with, on my home base. I use the Galactic Harvest mod
Yeah.
to make the large barbecued meat, and that gives you 300% experience. And then I use the Pearl Chai Tea, I think is what it's called, and that gives you another 157% and like a full, a full like a day of hydration, and gives you extra O2. So
Okay.
I go through and I spent some time on the Galactic Harvest. I plant the trees. I planted coconut trees because they're cool. They're these big, tall palm trees, right?
Yeah.
And so you can collect 5 of the coconuts, and then you can make a small, um, a kiosk size machine to make coconuts, and then you can put
Okay.
that in your ship,
Ah.
and then
Okay.
you can put a fruit storage box beside it, and so it will make like 60 of them, and then drop them over into the storage, and then
Yeah.
you can make a meat synthesizer. And so now, if I have water and meat and fruit, that's everything I need to to have all of the hydration and the food that I need. Plus, it gives me the bonuses, so I don't have to worry about anything else. And then the Dark Star, I use their little hamburger thing, and that gives me all the healing. Plus, it takes care of all ailments, afflictions. So I only need the 3 things, and if I've got those 3 things, I can get through the game without having to worry about going and finding water, going and finding food, going and finding heal packs, right?
Yeah.
Trauma packs, trauma kits. So that's what I spent last night doing, was getting all that stuff together. So I was all geared up, ready to just move forward in the universe without any more hitches. So sorry, sidetrack.
No, no, that's interesting. Okay. Um, I didn't so you can have the Galactic Harvest thing automatically making stuff while you're away? I didn't know that.
You
Huh.
can even you can once you have the the plant, the fruit that you want, whatever it
Yeah.
is, right?
Yeah.
Once you have 5 of those, then you can make it, like I said, a kiosk, and you can put that kiosk in your ship. So now you don't even have to go back to your base
Okay.
to get the fruit to make the drinks that you want to make. Now you can
Okay.
just make it all on your ship,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they automatically give you an egg that you normally, for the meat and the animals portion of the Galactic Harvest, you have to go find the DNA of whatever animal, right? Foxbat, let's just say. You got to go
Yeah.
find a planet with foxbat on it. You got to go. Uh, you can sneak up on a foxbat and take the DNA, right? A sample DNA from it. Then you can go back to your base, and then you can clone foxbats, and
Okay.
then the foxbat will give you a particular product in addition to what the game normally gives you.
Yeah.
Galactic Harvest also gives you an additional thing. Well, to start with, they give you a bone. What is it called? What is this thing called? I think it's called a bone mare, and it's like a big brontosaurus kind of an animal, right?
Hmm.
And so you don't even have to go find anything. You automatically get the ability to make this bone mare,
Okay.
and then when the bone mare matures, you can go harvest from it bone mare milk. So that gives you the dairy product that you need to make the chai, uh, the creature pearl chai tea.
Okay.
So when you walk up to the bone marrow, you just keep clicking harvest, 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 and it'll give you 2 or 3 or 4 at a time. And so after, I don't know, 30 seconds of tick, 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 got like 200 milk now. So I throw that on my ship. Now I'm set. I've got like a couple hundred barbecue platters and a couple hundred chai tea, the creature pearl chai tea. That's what it is.
Gotcha.
Creature pearl chai tea. Yeah.
Yeah.
And got a couple hundred of those, and I'm set to go. So, and that's all I have is I have those 3 things on my left quick access bar.
Yep.
So there's the tea, the meat, and the Dark Star hamburger that cures all your ailments. That's all my health stuff that I need for the whole game. Just the 3 of them.
Nice. Yep. Handles everything for you. Yeah, I definitely need to play around more with the Galactic Harvest thing, because I only kind of went into it and found a handful of couple recipes that I really like to make, and then I definitely need to like set aside some time to poke around in there and see what's there.
I didn't realize you could make those automatic little machines for that stuff until Sweet Pea was talking about it one time.
Okay.
She was walking on her ship. I was watching a video. She was walking around on her ship, and she was showing off her ship. And she said, "This is where I've got these." And she kind of explained it real quickly of that. Yeah, if you get 5 of these, you can make one of these, right? So if you want square watermelons, you need 5 square watermelons, and then you can make the machine. If you want apples, you need 5 apples. If you want coconuts, you need 5 coconuts. Whatever.
Yeah.
And so in the what is it? The decorate menu. If you go down, there's like 3 or 4 different icons that look like the remote machine guns for your base, right? That's what the little icon looks like. But then there's like 150 variants beside it, and that gives you the clue as to what's going on here. And like one of them is miniature animals. One of them is trophies and different things. And so those are all the Galactic Harvest stuff. And there's 150 or so of each one of those. So it's all the coconuts, all the apples, all the oranges and the lemons and the limes and the jalapenos and cilantro and dragon fruit, all the different stuff that who is it? Tank Girl. That Tank Girl put in there for Galactic Harvest. Yeah, she's the one that made that. And it's an amazing mod. There's a lot to it. There's a whole, I mean, it's almost a whole game if you just wanted to go out and collect DNA for each animal and then raise the animals in your base yourself.
Yeah, if you wanted to role play the what's the background? The Beast Hunter?
Yeah.
And
Xeno Hunter, Xeno Master.
Yeah. Well, I think there's
a mod called Xeno Master.
Yeah. Yeah, you could definitely play a background like that and just role play it, and not go out and kill people, just go out and kill animals. So when you're so on the first Enforcer ship to deal with the first incursion ship, for me, it took me to the I think it was the landing bay room where the control pad is, the control station is to shut down the Terrans. So I fought through all the Terrans there, and then you fight the one human. He's a Terran ensign. Got the key card and then disabled them. Now you can bum rush him, get in there, kill him, and do the same thing, and all the robots turn off. So after you do that, then the game takes you over to the room where you cause the shutdown, and that's where you go up to once you've killed everything in that room, which in my case, the first time I did that, everything was just, all the Terran robots are just floating there, not moving. So I just go up and pick them all off, including the boss guy. Going down into the one control room where you try to, you interact with the computer there, and it tells you like a system failure or something. You have to manually go down to, there's 3 different pipes where they have the big crank wheel. You go and hit those up, and then that's what causes the self-destruct sequence to begin, if I remember correctly. And so that's the official end of the first quest, or Luxury Lost. Because when you undock and you start to fly away, the ship explodes in the background. And I tried to do a video capture of it, but the camera angle just like was really bad for some reason. So yeah, that's
I tried to when like you board your ship and it shows the decoupling, right?
yeah,
Right. You've got the claws that come in and then they
yeah,
right.
yeah,
And as soon as that blacks out, you've got your black screen, your loading screen, and then you're on your ship. So the very first thing I do is, since my docker is here, I immediately hit reverse and rotate down. So basically it puts me nose down,
okay,
reversing, looking straight at the ship that I just left. And I've just
Okay.
gotten into the habit of doing that just to kind of see what the ship is. And a lot of times I'll go and take a picture at that point, whatever.
gotcha.
But then as I back off, that's when the ship explodes. So it was cool. I was able to do that and I don't think I took a video of that one, but I've got video of a few of them on my phone, and over here on our chat, I've got a couple of videos that show some stuff. But I realized that that's probably a next week thing. So,
Okay, yeah. We'll get into that next week then. Why is it always doing that? Okay. Yeah. So that okay. So now we're officially done with Luxury Lost. It's deal with the cruise ship, find the cruise ship, deal with it, fight Terrans for the first time, and go deal with the first incursion. So now we are officially on Into the Void, which is where you're supposed to go to the Algarab system and go to Anchor Point. And of course, this is the point in which it seems. Oh, we should have started off with that. Telling
warning.
the bug warning, but supposedly it was patched. I have to play around with that and I figure I'll do it on my combat medic or my space trucker, because I've already been to Anchor Point. I mean, so many times with my space trucker that I didn't want to reload, and I wasn't necessarily going to be doing Terran Armada anyways. But maybe what I'll do is I'll rush through that opening part just to get to the point where you're supposed to go to Anchor Point, where the bug actually happened. I might do that because I never downloaded that patch because I didn't think I would need it anyways, because I was going to make sure to not screw up my combat medic and go to Anchor Point on the quest for the first time.
Did your game update?
If it did, it would have been so fast I didn't look at it. Because sometimes those little updates, if you're not looking at your screen, you're going to miss it. And so sometimes
I know on Steam, you can either set it up to manually update or auto update.
I've never been able to get it to do the manual update.
Okay.
And when I was poking around with it, it looked like there was, from what I was seeing, there was no way to disable it unless there's like some funky thing you can do to disable it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I know you're able to, and it may actually take you going into a file on your computer and switching a 0 to a 1 or a 1 to a 0.
Yeah, it's somewhere
in the program just to say don't do that no more. I'm not sure, but I know that people have talked about setting up their games so that they don't auto update.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is, and I haven't played around with it enough to do that. It's so frustrating that the Steam needs to just have that be a setting. Do you want your games to auto update or not? Like my phone, I mean, I have my apps don't auto update.
Right. Don't mess with my stuff unless I ask you to, please.
Yeah, because it's like how many, and I think I've seen sometimes where there's like litigation, potential lawsuits for that happening, because it's like, imagine if you buy a product, you've got it in your house, and the manufacturer of the product decides to come to your house and change how that device works.
Right.
It's like it's
They're not
the same.
Come in and change your light bulb in your refrigerator from a white light to a blue light without your permission.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. You're going to add features and take other features away, or change the features where they don't function the way it was when you bought it. I bought it this way.
Yeah,
I
and
paid
that's
for this.
exactly.
Don't go messing with it. I paid for this. This is my product at this point.
Yeah, because sometimes they've changed things so significantly in a game that it might even fundamentally change the game. like on Fallout 76 when they introduced the one wasteland mechanic, where even though you're higher level, it would scale things to you. Like
I remember that.
once I got high enough level, it was obviously always challenging to run around the Cranberry Bog or the Mire, fighting some of the harder stuff, the super mutants and so on. Sometimes I would just want to have fun, go back to Morgantown and pop a bunch of ghouls. Just, pretend I'm in a zombie, kind of movie, and I'm walking around just taking care of zombies, right? Yeah, the golf course, White Springs, all that. But when they changed it to the one wasteland thing, it set it up where it was perpetually scaling you with the world around you. Now you would still find it easier to fight in the forest, but I could not one shot ghouls anymore unless I landed a very clear headshot. Whereas before with my 50 cal sniper rifle I had, any decent torso hit would drop them.
Mm-hmm.
But it took a clear headshot. So when they added the one wasteland mechanic, it fundamentally changed the game, and it was like no longer the game I bought and paid for.
Right. It almost felt like they debuffed you as opposed to buffing the world up. Yeah. Everything around you was buffed up, which essentially gave you the feeling that you were debuffed.
Mm-hmm.
Now suddenly my gun's not strong anymore when I'm in these low-level areas, or what used to be low-level areas. Now suddenly I'm a peon over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't change my stuff. That's to say, right?
Yep. I mean, it's just really frustrating when they do that. But I digress. So, all right. So now that we're on to Into the Void, you're supposed to go to. So we travel to Anchor Point, and so we go ahead and we jump to the Algebrob system, and where it puts you in the system, you then have to super cruise to Anchor Point. And it's pretty cool in Super Cruise, and I think did I do? I have a quick tip video on this that I have not yet released yet. I need to put it out. When you're in Super Cruise, there will be things that you can see, icons as you're flying around. There's a ship, an anomaly, this, that, or the other. And when you see that, pause the game right then. Go to your map of your solar system. You will not see those things on the map anymore. Now, you'll still see stuff on your map. You'll still see ship, hostile activity, anomaly. Okay, you'll still see stuff. But you will see more if you are in Super Cruise. And it's because, whatever reason, you want to explain how the sensors work to detect stuff near closer to you better. You would think it would populate on the map right next to you then, but it doesn't. So, if you're wanting more in the game, more action, more just, flying around and doing stuff, make sure to use Super Cruise because you'll see more. Yeah. So you get to Anchor Point, and I mean, it's we're way, way outside of the settled systems when we go to Anchor Point. It's very remote space station.
It's almost the furthest lower right star system that you can get to on the map.
Yeah.
All the way over there.
Yeah. and it was a little smaller than I thought inside when you actually go inside of it. The main area. Well, you first walk in, there's the little robot dog thing that runs up to you. That belongs to the ship technician. And of course, she sells all the new parts, the new structure, the new habs and all that. But you can also, I think you can get those also at New Homestead, assuming you don't have the mods like that I do. Because I've got the mod where everything is unlocked at my Outpost shipbuilder. So I think you could probably get all that stuff at New Homestead as well. But I don't think, but I don't think you could get it at any basic Nova Galactic ship technician like New Atlantis. New Atlantis only sells Deimos and Nova Galactic ship parts, but I don't think. But there's certain ones you don't have access to there, like the 2x2s, the 2x3, 3x2s, those ones. You can't get those from the New Atlantis ship tech. You have to go to the only place in the game officially is New Homestead. Unless you have the mod. Yeah. So I think maybe you can get all the double deckers and a new cockpit at New Homestead if you don't have the mod.
That's when you first start playing the game, it's neat to be discovering these different locations to find all the different habs. That's fun and that's great. But 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 or 200 hours in, you're like, you know what? I'm tired of having to get to a point because you can't save your ship when you're building it.
Correct.
So you have to modify your ship all the way to a point to where it's a flyable ship, then get out of the builder, and then fly that hunk of junk that's got modules hanging off of it everywhere, and no shield because I got to go over there to get the shield that I want. It's only got one weapon because the other two weapons are over there where I want to go get them. And you do that a few times and it starts to get old. So like you said, there's a mod for that. It's just unlock all ship parts at my outpost.
Yeah.
So now everything you need is unlocked at your outpost, and that's kind of nice. It gets rid of the grind. Yeah, part of the fun of the game is the first time you play through, you should experience everything, every bit of flavor that you can. But after that, I've got a job and I've got a family and I got pets and I got vehicles to maintain and a house to take care of. And I don't have time for all of that grind.
Yeah.
So, after you do your initial vanilla run through, play the game the way you want. And I take a lot of that grindiness out with all the mods that I run. So do you, I think.
Yeah, that's a very similar approach. I like to play the game as pretty much vanilla. I don't think I've ever put a single mod in while I'm playing the main quest. And a lot of times, like in Elder Scrolls games, I'll pair the main quest up with one of the other faction quests. So I'll go as soon as I can wander freely. I'll go find a faction, go through it, then double back, and then go through the main quest. So that way, there's some history to my character. Before the main quest even starts, he's already done this kind of a thing, right? And so, little headcanon there to it. But then that's the point I might start getting some mods. But I'm careful to avoid mods that might affect too much of the other main faction quests that I might go through, because I don't, I want those to be as, unchanged as possible, as natural as possible, as intended. But yeah, it comes to a point. It's like, I'm some days I don't even get to play because I've got 2 kids and I've got a little child and a baby, so it's like I don't have time to literally if I'm sitting and I need one more iron to build something for a mod on my gun, like a component that I'm trying to put on my gun, and I'm like, oh, I could go to Midtown Minerals and she might have it in stock.
Right.
She is the best in Aquila City. She's typically got the most available to her, but sometimes I've gone to her and she's literally not had the thing I wanted. So then I've got to go find, some other, like the Mining League on Neon City, or, it reached a point because I'm on PC. I'm just like, if it's a super cheap thing, item, component, ingredient, whatever, I just command console and give it to myself. I am not going to be flying around spending 5 minutes just to buy one thing of iron that I need.
There's for everyone on PlayStation or on Xbox, there's 2 that I can specifically speak to, cheat mods that work really well. One of them is just called, what's it called? Cheat Terminal. And I think it's in your food tab. And if you go to it and click on it and then exit out, it opens up a computer screen like you would click on a computer screen on the game, and it would bing, 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 right? And it opens up and it's got all the different menus of all the different cheat stuff, right? I used that one a lot, but when they did the Terran Armada and the Free Lanes update, I never saw that update. So I left it. I went through the Unity. I didn't download that again. Okay. But at that point, Jay Ramos Works was working on his Ramtech kiosk. and he was updating it like once a week, every week with new stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, I know this guy is actively keeping his mod up to date. So I downloaded the Ramtech, and it puts a kiosk in your wherever you want it. You can put it in your ship, you can put it at your home, your outpost, wherever you can decorate. You can put this thing,
Yeah.
and it's got everything in it.
Okay.
It's got all the new figures, the little action figures, right?
Yep. Yep.
So if you have Terran Armada downloaded, you can download the action figure. You can cheat your action figures. I haven't, but you can. If you have Shattered Space, then it has the new grenades that came with Shattered Space and all of that stuff in there. You can download those things, and you can actually cheat to get new grenades or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So money, X-Tech. I'm not sure if you can. I haven't seen a space where you can get the essence, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would imagine it's in there somewhere. He's got everything else, and then he's put a new landing pad in there called the Maxi landing pad. Okay, it's just kind of a play on words, right? The Maxi pad is his landing pad, and he's updated that to a point now where he's got like every ship in the game plus a bunch of custom ships and all the DLC ships and all the ships from Watchtower he's putting in there and all the ships from where else? Like big modders that have putting in a lot of ships into like custom ships. He's got those incorporated. So if you have the mod, then it'll have the ship on the maxi pad and you can download the ship. And I specifically looked last night. The Jade Swan from the Crimson Fleet.
Yeah.
Quest
The
line?
cargo ship. Yeah.
The cargo ship. That's a unique ship. You can't buy it anywhere.
Yeah.
Except now you can buy it from the
Okay.
from that maxi pad
Yeah.
ship technician. So it's kind of cool. So everything that I guess a long way of saying that was everything that you can do with your console commands. These are two different mods that give you pretty much the same abilities as console command. They can give you God mode. They can give you, bring your characters to you, bring your companions to you, different things like that. All the different stuff that the only things that really I've not seen anybody be able to reproduce is like to reset quest logs, right? So if you console command, you can skip a section of quest. If there's a bug, you can get to the next one and automatically make the next step of the quest activate. And I've not seen anybody cheat mod that.
It's probably possible, but you would have to
have every single mod, every single checkpoint.
Yeah, every checkpoint and every quest. And so if you had a special computer just for that set up somewhere in the lodge, you go there, you open it up, it says, all right, main quest. And then it would be like multiple drop down menus. Skip this section. But then I guess for advanced players it would be fine, but I can see that could be a mess for newer players if they were playing around with something.
All of that is you have to use with your own self-control, because you could very quickly have a mod like that and abuse it, and suddenly the game is no longer adventuresome. It's no longer fun. It has no challenge. There's nothing left to do because I could do anything and everything at any time. And now I don't have to look for any of the figures because I went and cheated and got them all. And I don't have to upgrade all of my powers because I cheated and got a bunch of essence and upgraded all my powers. And I've upgraded all of my guns to the maximum point. And now what's the point of playing the game?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense to clear or skip a bug, but like there eventually was a mod that for Skyrim that, remember those gems, those pink gems that were everywhere? And I think they were
red ones.
Yeah, or were they red? I thought they were more of a pink, but they're like there's like 50 of them, and when you have all of them, you get to recreate this old crown, and like a few of those gems were in a location that was deep into a major faction quest. And so
Right.
that's one of the quests I never did because partly because of the way I role play my characters now. I didn't have a character that was going to go into two different places, like be in the
Baron
Dark
Zaya?
Brotherhood. Yeah, Baron Zaya. Yeah. So be in, say, the Dark Brotherhood and do the Fighters Guild. No, I had a character for both of those quests, but they were never going to, neither would do both quests. Right. So then I never got to complete that quest line. And somebody eventually came out with a mod where you're able to get them all or whatever. And I never used
Did
that
you ever
mod.
play the mod?
No.
Okay, so I did.
Okay.
And this was, of course, again, it's after I've played through the game and I've beat the game. Not well, it's Skyrim. Do you really
Yeah.
ever beat it?
Yeah. You never beat it, but I get your
Right.
point. Yeah.
So I went through the main quest and I had done all the faction quests and so I was doing a second playthrough and then I eventually you get to the point where you're starting to mod some stuff and then I stumble across this thing and I'm like, I've never collected all those. So I downloaded the mod, and what it actually did was it opened up a portal in front of you, and you would step through it, and then you would be standing like within a couple paces of wherever the next Baronzaya gym was.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes you pop into a room and there's a woman there, and then she starts screaming, ah, and she's all freaking out because there's a stranger in her bedroom in the middle of the night, and you're like, oh shit. You grab the gym and you go back through the portal, right? And other times it's in the middle of a battle or you're down and deep in a dungeon so it was kind of cool to pop around the map and see where you ended up.
Okay. So
So it was kind of fun.
there at least
Yeah.
was some kind of, there was a little more to it than just suddenly poof, here's all the gems.
Yeah, you had to go to each location and gather them.
Okay.
So it was 50 jumps through portals to get to them. And but it was kind of cool. That's the one particular scene I vividly remember was popping into this room and I'm looking at this dresser and I'm about to grab the gym and this girl starts screaming behind me and I'm like, what is that? Oh, whoops, excuse me, ma'am.
I just need this gem. Goodbye.
Yeah, be out of your hair in just a moment here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. Man, we are
Okay.
all over the map today, aren't we?
We are. We're rambling. But isn't this on point though? Especially with how
Yeah, pretty much.
Skyrim is so abusive to ADHD people. It's like
You right?
you have ADHD
Oh.
people.
Now we got you. We
So-
got you.
So you get to Anchor Point. You get past the ship technician. You go into the main core of the station. There's the bar. There's that arbiter guy. We'll get into him in a way down the line. That's a side quest thing. He's a bad guy. He's a really bad guy. Anyways, so then you talk to the bartender and Delta. There's something specific you have to tell her, and this is I think where the bug was, where the thing to tell her
Right.
wouldn't
So-
populate in the dialogue options.
This is exactly where I was when I decided that's it. I can't go any further. I cannot progress any further. I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to figure this out.
and I
So
don't
you're
even
supposed to
remember getting
Vicious
the bug.
Victus drink or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you remember the code phrase?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't even remember I don't remember what the code phrase was supposed to be. I think my daughter was, around when I was in that part where you're told what the code is. So I told her what drink I wanted. And I'm like, why am I telling her what drink I want to have? And I told her one thing, and she's like, oh, sorry, we don't make that here, or something like that. And then I picked the next option. She's like, oh, right this way. I was like,
Right.
and it's totally just like out of what was it, Skyrim, where eventually you go back to the one tavern in is it
she takes you down to the
Riverwood, and Delphine takes you down to the basement. They have the
Right.
the secret room, the battle,
Yeah.
the little hideout. So that's what you go into the hideout, and then there's the old lady, there's the younger black guy, and then the older white guy. And so the three of them form the Void, which it's an acronym. Void is an acronym for something.
Right, I don't remember what the acronym means. It's some kind of convoluted governmental acronym, just like all of them. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's just like they took words and made them up to make the acronym look cool, but the words all don't really make a lot of sense together. It's like, okay, whatever. The first time I did this, I went to Valeria and I was repeating the name of this vicious Vixus drink. I kept repeating it in my head so that when I got to her, I could open up her tab and I could go to all of her stuff that she sells and I could buy
Yeah.
the right drink. Because that's what I thought I had to do. There was no other choice. It was like, okay, well, there's nothing there that says, hey, I want to buy this. So I went to her inventory and was looking and looking and looking. I couldn't find it. So that's when I knew I had the bug.
Okay.
So when I got it fixed, finally, like you said, it's like the third or fourth option down. It actually says, "Would you like? I would like to buy," and it's got the
Unique drink.
Vixus drink. Yeah,
Yeah. Veterans of Interstellar Deployments is what Void stands for.
Veterans
So
of Interstellar Deployment.
yeah, which you're not supposed to use the O of in an acronym.
Right. That's
It-
silly. Deployment of what? I mean, what does that even mean? Veterans of Interstellar Deployment. Is that like the VFW? Veterans of Foreign Wars?
well, I mean, they're former, soldiers that have formed their own little private militia. They're like the A team.
Got deployed
Yeah. So, but
into what? Combat?
so the three of them each have like a
Yeah.
different perspective on this whole Terran thing. Obviously, they all want to know why you have a Terran robot with them. And what's annoying is whenever you're explaining, to people about Delta, you're like, yeah, they're with me now and all this, but you never get the chance to just blatantly say this is a Terran mainframe or a Terran body with an AI chipset that this roboticist put into the system. It's not
Right.
even it's like my computer. If I take my hard drive out and put something else in there, it's the same
Right.
tower. It's a different hard drive. You don't get to blatantly just say that, which is really annoying. And you either get the snarky response or the oh, we gotta care about his feelings response. I'm like, dude,
Yeah, blah,
it's
blah,
like,
blah.
let me just tell
Chevy
people.
Chevelle with a Ford engine in it. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like So, and then at that point, Delta, of course, is trying to find the scientist that made him, and Roxanne, and so, unfortunately, just it's not so simple just to track her location. So Delta's going to, and the Void people. In this conversation, you come up with the reality that you have to go get these 3 black boxes, and they're of course going to be at Terran Enforcer ships, which
there's 3 different ships, and there's an Enforcer. There's a like a robot builder ship, and then there's a mining vessel, right? That does the hard mining for the products. So basically, they're going to show you all the different new POIs, essentially, that they've put into this game.
So it's not too repetitive.
Right. So they've got different floor plans. You're not having to go through the same ship over and over 3 different times. It's 3 different floor plans, 3 different POIs to essentially do the same thing. Yes, you're going to go through this location. You're going to kill all the bad guys. You're going to get to the end. You're going to find the thing, and you're going to return. But it's 3 different ones. So that way it's not repetitive. Yeah.
Well, this is where I confess I didn't finish my homework because I only did one of the 3 black boxes so far. So
this is where I thought I had a bug, because in one of the locations, I can't remember which one, but one of them, you get towards the end and there's the black box in front of you, and it's on a second level of this large room, and down below you is a computer that you need to interact with to set the self-destruct. So me being the super wise guy that I am, right? Smart like Wile E. Coyote I am. super genius. I ran downstairs, and since I was already downstairs, I guess, I dealt with the computer right in front of me first, and I set the self-destruct. And when I did, all the doors around me closed.
Oh,
So I ran upstairs and I grabbed the black box. But when I did that, instead of, I knew where it was. It's on a little pedestal, little thing that you need to walk up to and you grab it. There was no black box there. And so when I walked up and clicked on it, I pulled a black box out of my pack and put it on it. Instead of taking it and put it into my pack,
okay.
which the instructions say, take black box, right?
Okay.
And what I did was I put the black box down, and it completed that portion of the quest and says, okay, you're done. There you go. You got
So
the
then
black
you
box.
pick
And I'm
you
looking,
pick it
I'm going,
back up.
but it's right there. I didn't grab it. I put it there. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to get out of here. And I walked around.
Yeah, but
the
did you
upper ring.
pick it back up?
It wouldn't let me. There was no
Okay.
longer interactivity with it.
So you had already had a black box of the 3. You'd already
Of the
gotten
3, I
one.
must have already gotten one. So I had one in my possession. And
So now you had 0 in your possession, but the game is
I didn't
thinking
check my
you have
inventory.
2.
Yes, the game clicked to the next check mark, right? It says, yeah, now you've gathered 2, or now you've gathered. I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 at this point.
Because there's been people in the comments on the previous video when we, especially since we were talking about the bug in all of our at the intro of all of our previous videos, people saying they couldn't find the black box.
Yeah.
And so maybe I'm gonna give you some homework. I want you to go through those videos in the comments and start responding to people, telling them how to do that. That's your homework assignment for the week.
If that same kind of video glitch would have happened on the first black box,
Mhm.
I could see where that could be a problem, because I don't have one in my inventory, and there's not one on the pedestal where you're supposed to grab it from.
Yeah.
So
Now,
it must have been on at least the second one.
do you just drop it and then pick it up and set it there, or do you like interact
No,
with the
it's
thing
a
and
whole
transfer your
video
like?
clip? That's
Okay.
it's a cutscene, basically. That there's a little blue icon dot right there for your quest log, for your quest dot, right?
Yeah.
And you click on it, and then it puts your arm goes out and you grab it, right? The thing comes up out of the.
Yeah, but then how do you put it back?
Have you played the Crimson Fleet quest line?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you go to the big ship, the Galbank ship that's lost, right?
Yeah.
And you get all
Legacy
the way
lost.
to the end, and you get to the end of Krex's legacy, right?
Yeah.
And it has you pull that thing out of the middle. You put the one key in the one side, and you put the other key in the other side, and then you grab the box out of the middle.
Yeah.
I think that's the same box.
It looks very. It might be the same, or if not, very similar.
It's very similar.
But
Yeah.
I don't I'm having a hard time understanding what you mechanically do to put the box back.
It was just basically the clip in reverse. Instead of me reaching out and grabbing it,
And what? Yeah,
I pulled it.
I understand you're showing the
down.
animation, but what did you do with your controller to put it back? Did you just click on it and it put it back?
Yeah, just click the A button.
Oh.
When I walked up to it and clicked the A button, there was no box there. I clicked the A button, and it, because I was like, oh, I know what I'm doing here. I've already done this before. I walk up, I do the little blue thing. I walk over to the little blue thing. I click the A button, and boom. And by the time I realized this is glitched up, that's weird.
Okay.
And then all the doors were closed, and I couldn't get out.
So you still had a bug to deal with, though. Okay.
I was like, okay, was I supposed to go? Initially, I thought, well, I should have came up here and got the box and then gone downstairs and set the self-destruct to destruct, and then it would let me out. So I kept, I went back a save, which
Okay.
took me completely to my initial autosave when I entered the ship.
Okay.
So I had to go through all of that over again, all the hallways, and kill all the Terrans, and getting through all the Terran robots and everything to get to the same point. And I would take a couple steps, and I would save, and I would turn around, and I would look. Okay, that door's still open. All right, I'd take a couple more steps, and okay, nope, it's still open. Okay, if I grab this thing, it's still open. I take it. Still open. Okay. And then I went downstairs and I hit the self-destruct. All the doors closed. I'm like, oh shit. Now I can't get out again. Okay.
Okay, so that's a
I was
bug you've been dealing with.
Well, no, I was being a ding dong.
Oh.
Because there's all these blast doors in the middle of each of the sections, right?
Yeah.
But all the way over in the corner, there's one little circular porthole door, like a spaceship door, little circle one, like a little circle door, right? Like if you want to go into the cockpit of your ship. And I must have ran by it 3 or 4 times and just missed it.
Gotcha.
But it's over there, and now when you're coming into this spot, that door is locked. You can't get through it. You have to go around and down some stairs, and you come out through this other area. But when you're leaving, they unlock it, just like in Skyrim, where they've got a special secret passage that gives you the shortcut to the end of the dungeon, back to the exit of the dungeon.
So which of the 3 locations was this one? Because you're talking about walking around, which is not the Enforcer, because the Enforcer, which I've only done one of the 3, for me, it sent me to one in space, so it was a 0G environment.
The Enforcer where you're floating?
Mm-hmm. It's 0G.
Okay, so this one is like a long ship. And so it's like a couple of levels. So you get on and you basically walk all the way down the corridor, and then you go up a flight, and then you walk all the way back the corridor, and then you go up a flight, and then you right.
You don't remember what the name of this one was, though?
Is it an assembler?
Assembler? Okay. Because you said the one was a mining one was an assembly, and then there's the Enforcer. Okay.
Right. So I think this was an assembler.
Okay.
So there's, matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it was, because one of the long hallways has these trusses that have robots hanging off of them, kind of like Clone Wars, where they've got all the robots.
Yeah. Droids, yeah.
So, yeah. So on each side, there's like racks of 3 or 4 robots on each, and then there's another section, and it's 3 or 4 robots, and another section, and 3 or 4 robots. So if they were all come alive at once, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
But there's a pretty good amount of them. No, it's a fun battle.
Yeah, so in my case, it just sent me to the Enforcer first, which was basically the same exact thing. And the very first one you do, which I think the first one's always an Enforcer, the one right after Luxury Lost. Yeah. So that was where I remembered. So in mine, I go into I'm following just the quest marker. It takes me straight to do the shutdown thing, and I initiate the shutdown to cause the self-destruct. But then I remembered, I'm like, wait a minute. I remember disabling a bunch of them. So I went back into the control room right there, and I couldn't figure it out. So then I went and looked it up and realized, well, it's optional to go to the room where you can shut all the droids down. So then I went ahead and, all right. So I went there, and I bum rushed the control thing, killed the ensign, got the key card or whatever it was, disabled the robots, and then the rest of the robots in that room I was able to kill. But those are all just basic robots, Terran robots. But if you've gone in there first and disabled them there, when you go into the other room where the boss guy is, where he has like multiple health bars, he's disabled as well. So it ends up being about the same amount of combat, so to speak, or probably easier. I mean, time spent doing the quest or doing this part of the mission, this objective, is probably about the same. But at least it's a little easier, and you get more loot, because then you just go around and hose all the Terrans when they're just floating there, deactivated, and right. And then you just loot their bodies.
On our initial deal that we talked about, the free lanes.
Yep.
Picture number 82.
Picture 82. Okay.
So that is the mining facility. So the third one. So first you go to the Enforcer.
Okay. And that was the one where I even made the comment, it looked like it could fly. I mean, that thing looks like it had landing gear. So I'm like, okay.
Yep.
So that's the production one.
And then the third place you go get the black box is this place. And it's actually on the ground, just like this.
Okay.
In picture 82. So you go there, you do the thing, you get the box, and again, it's somebody could take and cut a video of all three of these interior locations, and from the inside, they could say it was one place, or they could say it was different places, because they're all so similar. The
Yeah,
lighting
very
is
similar
very
aesthetic.
similar.
Mhm.
Right. They all look very similar. There's a little bit of difference, like you said, the very first, the assembler, or no, the enforcer, you're in 0G,
Yeah.
so you get 0G attacks, right? Which, that's a good point. That at that point, make sure you have a few skill points saved up, and then you can rank up your gymnastics by killing people in 0G.
Yeah.
So that's a
Yeah.
good spot to rank up your gymnastics, which gives you better 0G abilities. And then, so the third one is that assembler, not assembler, miner. It's the
Mhm.
mining ship. And so you go down and you have to go through a couple of levels, and you have to turn the furnaces off, and then you have to set the self-destruct, and then you have to steal the box, and you have to set this, and then you've got all the sirens going on, and you got to escape and get out of there. And it's very dramatic when you leave. I'll just say that. I think I've given you some previews of what it looks like when you leave. It's a very dramatic escape from
Oh yeah,
the place.
it's kind of like
Right?
it's like the escape on the Crimson Fleet quest, Crix's Legacy.
Yeah.
And of course, as you're taking off, it's exploding. Or in my case, when I was out in space and I start flying away from the thing, it explodes in the background.
Yeah.
Behind
Mhm.
you. So at this point, you're going to have to take it away, because I don't know what happens next. But you can spoil it for me. That's fine.
That's kind of the end. You get all of the black boxes. Now you have 3. You get out of there, you jump on your ship, you take off, and it shows you leave. And then as you leave, the whole place explodes, and then it says, give Delta the Terran black boxes.
Yeah.
So you give Delta the boxes, and he says, oh, well, we need to go rescue Roxanne. So at that point, that's the end of Into the Void. You didn't miss it by much. You had one more location you needed to clear. And
2.
then,
I've only done one of the 3 black boxes. So
okay.
it's basically it's a different set piece, but just basically the same thing. You go to this Terran place, you get this box. It's just this is this kind of facility, this is that kind of facility, this is a spaceship in space. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you keep playing and you keep seeing, so you've got the quest log that says Into the Void, and it's got all the check marks, right?
Yeah.
And it'll just say, at one point, it just says acquire Terran black boxes. That's it. You're like, okay, acquire them. But then if you look at your other quests, it'll say major incursion, minor incursion. Well, that's your 3 black boxes.
Yeah.
So they're actually separated out as additional separate quests for each one of those.
Rather than being like another objective in that overall quest, it just pops up as a separate quest line. And I did catch that.
Right. It confused the hell out of me when I first saw it. I'm like, what is...
I'm assuming the systems change for each player, but like one of mine was in Oberon, and I can't remember what the other 2 are. Okay, so the 3 system names for you.
All right. So I have me a little field book for my field notes. I bought this for my convention so that I can take notes during Dungeons and Dragons sessions, right? But I did write it down. I wrote down, it says black box locations. Okay. I know this has got to be the thing, right? Yep. And the first one, it says Altor 4B. That's where I ran into the first, the Enforcer.
Okay.
And then High Ram 4A, and that was in orbit.
Okay.
And then the third one was Prycon 5, and that one was in orbit.
I had 3 completely different ones, so it's cool that it's going to be different. And that's the beauty of Starfield.
Of course, I was, it was late in the evening, and I had had a few drinks, and I'm like, I need to know. I need to find out if this is the right. I better make a note because I won't remember.
Write it down.
And then when you said it was on Oberon, I was like, hmm, that
Not
jarred
in my
me.
universe.
No, right? No, hold on. I know I wrote this down. Hold on, I wrote this down for a
Oh,
reason.
but yeah, that's a really cool thing about Starfield. That will increase kind of the replay value to an extent where they can have things just in different locations. There's hundreds of solar systems to pick from, right? And
Yeah,
hundreds of planets, and so they can have things just be in a different location,
and then
especially
it
for
gives you
like
the opportunity. If you land on a planet that's got life, then you got the opportunity to run around and check out all the different plants and all the different
yeah,
animals. And
yeah,
I ran into a new animal last night that looks like some kind of like Jabba the Hutt crossed with a like pupating worm, right? So it was
yeah.
long and fat and wrinkledy, and it had like big bulbous fly eyeballs. Super aggressive. You got anywhere close, and they just started to charge at you. And I don't know what the hell they were, but my philosophy is if you leave me alone, we're good. You charge me, and my buddies take a shot at you, everything around me dies.
Kill everything. Speaking of Jabba the Hutt, did you see the new Star Wars movie? It just came out.
No.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
Mandalorian and Grogu. So I went.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
knew that. Yes, I have not seen it though. Did you go
yeah,
see it?
yeah. Saw it Thursday night.
Was it worth watching?
Yeah, definitely. The
Okay.
thing I liked about it, because I mean we could probably set aside an episode just to get into the sequel trilogy, and that'll be quite the explosive conversation as far as in general. I will
You can
say, yeah,
already tell where I was coming from when I said, "Was it worth watching?"
well,
Because half of the new stuff is okay, and the other half is like, "Nah, we don't
yeah.
even need it." Kind of
Well, and
thing.
then what's funny is then half the fan base loves the new stuff, and then the other half doesn't, right? So
Yeah.
I'm more
Yep.
in the doesn't. I mean, I try to go into it with an open mind, and like when the prequels came out, right? I'm baby Gen Xer. I grew up in the '80s as a child watching the original trilogy.
You
Prequel.
can tell by the hair on his face that
Mhm.
he's the baby Gen
Yes,
Xer.
yes, I'm a baby Gen Xer. So the prequel trilogy, definitely some of the OG fans, even myself to an extent, I was like, with these prequels, and I still enjoyed them, but Revenge of the Sith was the best in my opinion, but the other two, and then so then you go to the sequel trilogy, and it's like now I can see, like, yeah, there's these different generations having different loves for them, and so I think
Right.
Rogue One is legit one of the best Star Wars movies made.
That was a really good
You
one. I
know,
really liked that one.
yeah,
Kind of sad in the end because you knew what was going to happen.
yeah. But the cool thing about the Disney Plus shows, which some have been better than others, the Mandalorian ones have overall been really good. And
Yeah.
this movie was cool because it was just a movie set in the Star Wars universe, but you don't see any Luke Skywalker's
There's no
not there,
Jedi.
Han Solo, no Jedi.
Right.
It's so
It
it's
lets you know that there's more going on in this universe than just
yeah,
that storyline
yeah,
of the Solos and the Skywalkers.
yeah. The only well, the one thing that annoyed me um, was that they have the Huts speaking English.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, they're not supposed to do that.
no, I mean, I don't know if they've ever. If I understand correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Huts are just so superior. Like they have a superiority complex where they refuse to speak the common tongue. That's
Right.
that's their thing, if I understand correctly. So it made sense for I don't know if they spoil it in the trailer, so I won't tell who this hut is. There's multiple huts in the movie, but there's a younger one, we'll say, and it made sense for him to speak English, if you understand, because he's kind of on the outskirts, right? He's kind of outside the little
He's having to deal with
hut.
all the people, the humans. And
Well,
so,
yeah,
I'll learn that. I'll speak that because
yeah,
you guys need to understand me.
yeah. But then there's a couple other huts that also speak English, and those ones should not have, and it would have been fine for
Gotcha.
him, because then that could have been like his thing. He's the one hut that speaks English because
Right.
he's not some racial superiority complex hut. But the cool thing is like that, and that hut in particular, and the other huts too, they actually get into fights because every time you see Java, he's just some fat slug. How is he? How are huts crime bosses when they're so slow? Like, yeah, sure, you have money, but if you are not physically powerful and you're in the crime scene, eventually somebody who's more physically powerful than you is going to overthrow you. And so they actually show huts
Take all
fighting,
your
and
money.
holy crap, the younger hut, dude can fight. I'm like, that is one fast slug.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, and plus, just the action is fun, and just a very simple story: lone wolf and cub, which is, Mandalorian and Grogu, right?
Right, right.
So, yeah, I definitely recommend seeing it in the theaters.
Okay. That sounds like
So,
fun.
yeah, temper your
I've got
expectations.
a vet appointment this morning here in about an hour.
Oh, okay.
So we got a few minutes, but we're gonna have to wrap it up.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and call it a day, anyways. So we'll get. So I'm hoping to get this edited and put up here this morning. But yeah. So Into the Void, and so what's the name of the next quest?
Going haywire?
Going Haywire. Okay.
Yeah, I think
So-
it's going haywire or gone haywire or maybe just haywire.
Okay. So that's mission 4 of 5 in this quest line.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So that one's kind of fun too.
Cool. Looking forward to it. Yeah. So we've got. Wait, are you out of town this coming weekend? I am. Is this the weekend we're
No.
both out of town, or is it the following?
This coming weekend will be the weekend of the 30th.
You're
I'm
in
gonna start
town, but
doing-
I'm gone.
Hikes with my sister again. We've kind of fallen out of touch, and so we're gonna try
Yeah.
to get back into touch with each other and start going on a monthly hike, which we used to do that, and we would walk anywhere from 5 to 7 miles on
Okay.
a Saturday morning. So next Saturday morning, I'm gonna go
Gotcha.
hiking with my sister. So
Okay.
we can do Sunday morning, and then that following Tuesday.
Well, this next
Well,
weekend I'm out of town
tomorrow.
entirely.
Okay.
So we're gonna take
And-
next weekend off, but then the following
and then the
weekend
following weekend, I will be out of town.
But you
yes.
come back Saturday.
No,
Oh.
I'm leaving on Tuesday and I come back on Monday, so I'll be out of
Oh
town
goodness!
the entire
So
week.
we're gonna have a 2-week break, so plenty of time to get caught up on the quest.
And you said you've got a little bit of something set aside that you can put up for the folks out there, right?
Well, yeah, I've got
Maybe
some ship build
editing.
videos to put up on my.
There you go.
Yeah, so no
Hold you guys
podcast
over.
related stuff, but yeah,
That's
I've got
okay.
some ship
You can
builds
hold
I
them
can
over.
do. So
They'll get to see your shining face. It'll
Yeah.
be beautiful.
oh, speaking of shipbuilding, I finally caved and downloaded PDY.
Okay. Did you get
So
to play with it? Did you play with it?
yeah, I'm still playing with it, and so the Play Store Yourself mod is what we're referring to. Awesome mod. It still is a little glitchy with the Nova Galactic double deckers, the vanilla ones,
Okay.
because even though I did not put a door in between, I'm like, oh, this is perfect because with those double deckers, every time you put a hab next to it, it's going to open the door. Even if it's a side by side, you've got 2 doors, it's going to open both doors going into the exact same hab. So you can like run in a little circle through the doorways if you want, right? So
Right.
now if you stagger to, like if you have your 2 habs like this and the double deckers in the middle,
Uh-huh.
then
Now you can go in and over and down and out.
yeah, the doors between the 2 habs may or may not be open, but at least that way it makes sense. But yeah, so when you have one side by side, or what if you want to leave the double decker, go into another hab, and turn the corner and go into that door, but not have the door. So in this case, it was one of the SPE. Well, I played around with a couple of different vanilla mods too, or vanilla habs, just to make sure it wasn't me. But I put a
That's
one
the
by one
thing
there.
One thing about the PDY is there's a bunch of patches.
Yeah.
So if you have SPE,
Mhm.
there's SPE plus PDY patch. If
Okay,
you
I'll
have-
double check to
Yeah,
make
if you
sure I
have
downloaded it.
Falkland- Right. If you have Falkland, then there's Falkland plus PDY patch. So what you can do is just type in your search bar PDY patch, and you'll get a whole bunch of
Okay.
different ones because a lot of people use that, and there's a lot of have mods out there, and so there's a lot of patches.
Yeah.
So you just get the basic PDY, and then I probably got 4 or 5 patches because I got the G-Tech patch, I got the Matilda patch, I've got the SPE patch, and I have the Altec patch. What's the Avon Race Yard
Avon Tech.
patch?
Yeah.
Avon Tech, yeah. So each one of those that you've got a different mod for all your additional habs, there's probably a patch for PDY that goes with it. So make
Okay.
sure you have all the patches downloaded.
Yeah. I'll definitely double check that. Because the issue I was having is even though I didn't place a door there, the door would still be there on the double decker side. So when I looked through the doorway, I could see the back side of the decoration stuff. And if I stepped through, I would
Oh.
just fall through.
Yep.
I fell
And that's
through and
typically
ended
what
up on one of the top levels of my ship.
Yes, that's typically what happens if you don't have the patch. You'll kind of fall through, and then it'll load you into a different location of the ship, whether it's
Yeah.
like the deck below or a deck, like you said, the deck above,
Yeah.
something like that. But you're weirded out and going, what just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
But-
probably need to patch it.
But overall, yeah, I'm able to just fine tune the ship. I mean, I had it mostly good, but like now that I'm using the Play Stores yourself, I'm like it's like little situations where it's like, okay, I'd rather have the door there on this slot and on this wall
Gives you
instead of this
so
wall.
much more control, huh?
Yeah, and so it's
Yeah.
I need to play around with the shutters and stuff like that because there's the shutters and then there's that one word that starts with the J. It's the
I know what you're saying. It's
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Because it's like on the captain's quarters, for example.
Yeah.
I have the door go into the end of it, so it goes this way from you. Because on the SPE captain's quarters, it's a 2x1, but there's only 3 even potential doors. The other 3 locations just won't have a door on the other end of the hab, so it's you can enter in here, or here, right on the one end, opposite of the bathroom. So
Yeah,
what
and
I
these
have is a
actually got
window
2
on the
different-
side, and
There's 2 different floor plans for that. Also, there's
Well, yeah,
a captain's quarter aft and a captain's quarter forward.
4. Yeah, so you can turn it both ways.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to do is I've got the window there on the one side, but but it's cool that you can put like basically the thing up to close the window. So that way it's like you can close the window or open it. Right.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun working with the Play Stores yourself. It definitely makes shipbuilding take longer.
Yeah.
But it at the point of a player I'm at now with well over 1,000 hours, like I want to be very specific and fine tune my ship exactly how I want it, and PDY does that.
And that's why I have the Avant-Garde, because I've built that ship to my personal taste, and it's exactly what I want, where I want. Everything is where I want it to be.
Yep.
There's, like you said, it's exactly to where it. Yeah.
Yep.
So Play Stores yourself. That's a great mod.
Yep.
I don't even know who made that. I think at this point it was abandoned and somebody else picked it up and patched it for the free lanes update.
So that's probably why there's
patched
patches for it, because if it was the same mod author, you would think they would be able to just update the mod itself to include those things, right?
Well, it's just like Dark Star Total Game Overhaul.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you make a new gun, well, you can't run it through the Dark Star. You can't Dark Star it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But somebody can make a patch, which will put it into the scripting for the Dark Star. And then you could run that gun through there. So same kind of thing. Play Stores yourself is for the vanilla game. But if you made new mods, right? So the Ancient Mariner mods.
Yeah.
There's a patch for those.
Okay.
Altec, right? That's right.
Yeah. So the mod authors for those would make the patch for PDY.
Yeah,
Okay.
or just an interested party.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that the Dark Star stuff has dozens of different mod authors doing patches for it.
Yeah.
It did in the past, and I think there's something going on. They're waiting on something before they put out the newest Terran Armada patch.
Okay.
I read something about they kind of really, I don't know. I wouldn't say hush hush, but there's just not a lot of chatter about it. It's something they're waiting on something.
Well, Wicked
but
put out a video recently. I haven't gotten the chance to watch it yet, but I'll have to check that video out and see what he says in that.
yeah, a lot of the mod authors started the creators. They started out by making patches for Dark Star in the early days when it was Dark Star Astrodynamics and Dark Star Manufacturing. That was before the total game overhaul.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the common mod author creators on the Dark Star headquarters page now started off by finding a mod that they liked,
Yeah.
but they wanted to incorporate it with Dark Star. And so Wicked gave them some instruction, I would guess, and helped them a little bit along. And so they got their feet wet by making patches for the Dark Star mods.
Okay.
And once they got understanding how the patching works and how the creation kit works, then they started creating their own mods. So a lot of those guys got started off by doing patches. So it's not always the mod author of one or the other mod that you're trying to patch together. Sometimes it's just an interested party that goes, I like that gun, but I wanted to do the thing over here, so I'll just make a patch to make them both work together. So
Gotcha. Okay.
that's why patches are never they're never paid. Patches are always free, and they're never what's the achievement? They're never achievement friendly either.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah. I personally don't care about achievements, but for those that do,
That's kind
it's
of my
like,
thing. I never think about mentioning that. I guess it's important to some people. I don't care at this point.
yeah.
I mean,
In a single player game, I could care less about achievements anymore. I used to care big time, but like, well, Jay Ramos even asked on his YouTube channel, I think it was, he did not a quiz, a poll, and in the poll he asked like something about achievements, and I commented and I said I only use achievements to look for content I've not found yet in the game, because sometimes there might be like, achievement, discover this location, and it's like a unit,
right.
So now I know there's something hidden that I have to go find. That's the only reason I use achievements. I don't care if I have them or not. So, all right. Well, I
got to get out of here, brother.
Yeah, we got to go. I got to go too. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for tuning into the Starfield Report podcast. As always, if you have any feedback, send it into starfieldreport@gmail.com. Our next recording will be in a couple weeks, but we'll go through whatever the Haywire quest is, or mission, mission number 4 in the Starfield or the Terran Armada quest line. So be sure to get your homework done and tune in for that one. Other than that, folks, any last words, Jax?
Drive fast, take lots of chances.
All right, folks. Well, thank you so much. We will see you in the Starfield.
Then let me be the first to officially welcome you to the United Colonies Vanguard.